Two clubs that are identical at home and nothing alike anywhere else. Tampa Bay Rowdies have not lost on the road this year, while Miami FC has barely won on it. Matchday 17, Pitbull Stadium features Tampa Bay Rowdies chasing a Players' Shield up against Miami FC. Greetings to all. With Chris Nurse, I'm David Gascon, and thanks for joining us here tonight. Chris, top of the Eastern Conference standings showcases Tampa Bay Rowdies 9-2-5 on the year, and Miami FC, one of the few teams with a negative goal differential that's above the playoff line.
Yeah, both teams are heading in different directions. They're at the stage of the season where every point matters. For Miami FC, we thought maybe they turned a corner yesterday with the performance against last week with the performance against Indy 11. However, they ended up losing midweek against Colorado. And for Tampa Bay Rowdies, they started the season very strong, but they've started to wobble lately. So it's been interesting to see if they can recover their early season form.
It's a massive task for Miami FC, especially against the best team in the Eastern Conference. 4-0-1 this year when they scored the game's first goal, and it's pivotal for them to get on the board first tonight.
Yeah, I think it shows a little bit of maturity and experience in the Miami team. They've learned how to manage games better. The challenge isn't about simply scoring first. It's about maintaining the balance between attacking while still protecting their lead.
Mason Tunbridge is our player to watch here tonight. He has a goal and a couple assists on the year, but he does so many of the different dirty things on the pitch that makes this team go.
Yeah, Tunbridge starts, Locadio does not start, which changes Miami's attacking profile. Instead of playing for a fixed number 9, we'll be looking for more movement, more runners across midfield. Tunbridge providing a little bit more width, more of a collective attacking approach rather than just relying on one central point.
Every team in USL Championship has those ebbs and flows. Some of them a little bit deeper, a little bit longer than others. And for Tampa Bay, they're no different. You look at the first 12 matches of the year, had 8 victories. Last 4, only 1. Why?
Yeah, I think you can look at the statistics and you can see goals conceded being one of the key things. They've almost conceded as many goals in the past 4 games as they did in the opening 12. But every good team is going to have a rocky patch over the course of the season. And the key is going to be how they respond to that adversity. They have the results of the past 4 haven't been great. Tonight is going to be a fantastic opportunity in a Florida derby, which poses a different challenge in itself to get themselves back on track.
Interstate rivalries always bring out the best. Speaking of the best, MD Myers, he's always a regular when it comes to scoring goals. He has 5 of them on the season and a couple of assists, but what makes him so deadly in the attacking third?
I think it's his ability to draw the attention from the defenders. He has the ability to fill his chances himself, but he can also create for his teammates around him. He's a real goal sniffer. Anywhere around the box, expect him to be in around the ball to finish off the plays.
Tampa Bay Rowdies have dominated this all-time series against Miami FC, totaling 14 victories so far out of 23 matches. Coming up on the other side, we'll get you the starting 11 and first touch. It's Miami FC, Tampa Bay Rowdies coming at you next.
Avianca is ready for takeoff. Miami FC brings extraordinary passion to every match, and we take it further, connecting the city to 80-plus destinations across the Americas and Europe. Because chasing the extraordinary takes the right partner. Avianca, the sky belongs to all of us.
Dealing with pressure is never easy. But pressure is part of the game too. When everything is in your hands, become your own hero.
This week on USL All Access, we are back on SiriusXM FC, which means we recap the month that most people didn't see on YouTube. Trevor Ammon, the fastest professional hat trick in American soccer history, speaks with Devin. Plus, we break down the quarterfinal matchups for mid-August's USL Prince Tires Cup. All that more on SiriusXM FC, the USL YouTube page.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Avianca, Baptist Health, Macron, and Cook Unity. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Avianca. Gaston Madoni's troops, a 4-3-3 deployment here tonight. Across the board at the top of it, Arnie Rocha is up there along with Mason Tunbridge.
Yeah, Miami arrived tonight after a difficult midweek trip to Colorado where they suffered a 2-0 defeat. The altitude, the travel, quick turnaround become a part of the story tonight with Lecadio on the bench. This isn't just a change in the team. It changes their attacking identity. Expect more movement, a little bit more fluidity, great responsibility shared for the attacking across the front line.
On the flip side of things, when you look at Tampa Bay Rowdies, they have been brilliant this year. Dominant on the road, fantastic at home. MD Myers, we talked about earlier, but a bunch of other guys do some work as well. Luis Perez is one of them in the middle of the park.
Yeah, by contrast to Miami, Tampa's lineup is very familiar. Myers leads the line, giving them a genuine focal point, with the midfield being built around experience and players know the rhythm and how to control the game.
Head coach Dominic Casciato, a 4-4-2 deployment here tonight with Jamalia Waite in between the sticks. He has gone wire to wire for these troops here in 2026, but more so for Tampa Bay Rowdies. They have been clinical in this series history. 14 victories, just 4 losses and 5 draws across all competitions of the USL regular season, 23 meetings, and they have outscored Miami FC by a wide margin, plus 23 in the goal differential as this match is officially underway. Tampa Bay Rowdies and the green and gold kits moving from left to right. Miami FC in their aqua blue, and then also the white kits. They'll be attacking from right to left. Temperatures at first touch, 87 degrees. Scattered clouds, rain throughout the day. Quite a few rain cells that have been bursting up and down southeast Florida today. Let's see if the players get a spray at one point or another tonight. Humidity right around 72%. Sonora on the approach. Sonora goes for goals, blocked. Rocha's attempt also stymied as well.
What's going to be interesting is Miami FC's last performance here at home was probably arguably their best performance or most complete performance of the year so far. Obviously midweek they went away to Colorado, which can be a difficult place after the travel and the altitude to go and pick up a result. What's going to be interesting to see if they can return to that level of performance that they showed here last week Saturday against Indy. Obviously they're doing that without Lecadio, who may be fatigued, may have picked up a knock, may not be available for the full 90 as he has been instrumental in the upsurge in form from the team. But it's going to be interesting because, as we spoke about, last week's performance against Indy was a very complete performance.
Yeah, go ahead. We need you.
Got an injured player for Miami on the pitch already, and that's Sonora. Sonora's down.
And it was a really dynamic start to the game from him. You saw him driving with the ball, trying to get shots off, being on the front foot, very aggressive from the get-go. This will be a big knock from Miami FC. Obviously, we spoke about Lecadio not starting, but Sonora doesn't look like he can continue much longer either, just 90 seconds into the game.
Wow, he was pointing towards his groin as he was getting up, and that is a big blow for Miami. We're just seconds into this match. Awful beginning for Miami. And Sonora, he knew it right away. He acknowledged it. He's walking off gingerly. So Sonora walking off the pitch. His night started and finished rather fast. Unfortunate for Gaston Madoni, he has to go to his bench right away and use a sub. Jurgen Locadia is dressed for tonight. And it looks like Rodrigo Da Costa will be coming in. First sub of the night, brought to you by Baptist Health. And for Miami, it happens in the 4th minute.
Of course, this game is a little bit different because it is a genuine Florida derby. There's a rivalry between the two teams, style of play, bragging rights. One team is trying to build momentum, and obviously Tampa Bay Rowdies have built tremendous tradition in the USL Championship over the years. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this matches up and how the players take that emotion of it being a Florida derby and bring that energy to the game.
Well, for Joel Sonora, he was making his 13th appearance of the year and 11th start. And 15 shots coming into tonight's match, and unfortunate for him, he departs playing roughly 90 seconds. So he's subbed out because of an injury. Rodrigo da Costa comes in for him.
And what this really does test is the depth in Miami FC's rosters. As we saw, a number of changes. Da Costa's been good over the past few weeks. Cardio, we keep talking about being good, but now you're looking at that depth in the roster, and this isn't one of the deepest rosters or the deepest budgets in the league, so to speak. So they have to be very versatile and creative with the resources that they have. And this is going to be a real test of character for them. We spoke about them coming off a loss midweek. Now there's some big changes, injuries. The question mark now is, how do they respond? Do they throw in the towel, or do they find a way to grind out a result tonight?
The element too with Da Costa coming in so quickly is just the frame of mind. You're not expecting to play so early in a match. Being a second half sub, anywhere from the 46th minute to right around the 60th minute. But when you get activated that quickly in a match like Da Costa was just now, what kind of reaction does he have as a player?
I think the good news is that it's not like they would have trained the whole week on a squad and now it's upset the whole rhythm of everything, because they would have played Wednesday, flown back on Thursday. Friday would have been the only training day that they would have maybe gone through some tactics and shape for tonight's fixture. So it's not like it would disrupt a whole week's worth of preparation. He's played enough over the course of the season. He's an experienced, important player in this team that he can come in and add strength and value and stability to the group without disrupting too much. But I think in terms of fresh legs and energy and their approach to this game, that's where there may be a little bit of disruption. But Da Costa's a top player.
Matthew Thompson is our center referee today. Jake Joyce, our fourth official, or getting himself involved.
I think the most challenging part will be Miami was starting to show signs of building a little bit of momentum, which can be really difficult to build in the USL Championship and even harder to sustain, as we saw last week. Fantastic performance. Wednesday, indifferent performance, and then they're immediately faced with challenges for tonight. So sustaining that momentum can be really challenging. So it's really important for them to get a response as a group, as a team, so that they don't get that here we go again mentality creeping amongst the group that they've had over the past few seasons. I do think they began to turn a corner, and it's about them proving that last week wasn't just a one good night and it's a change of who they are. Wednesday wasn't undoing of last week, and they can respond well tonight. So it's a real character test, and it's going to take the best of Gaston Madoni to get this group fired up and respond to the challenges that they're facing.
One of the biggest challenges with Tampa Bay, not only are they the best in USL Championship, but they have been exceptional on the road. They have taken 18 points out of a possible 24 away from their own backyard. And they've conceded 3 goals in 8 road matches.
I think one thing that, you know, we're maybe painting the picture that not having Locadia in the lineup is a negative for Miami FC, but one positive that it may bring is that the attack becomes a little bit less predictable. Rather than having a one focal striker, it's now going to become about movement and rotations to create the attacking opening. So now it becomes a different challenge for Tampa Bay than they may have expected.
Some decent contact here. We're going to have a yellow. We are going to have a yellow on Da Costa. Don't know if it had much merit to it, but our center referee was within 5 feet of that challenge from Da Costa, and he's not happy about it at all.
It's definitely been an active opening 8 minutes in some unorthodox ways. I think that's a really harsh yellow card, in all honesty.
Schneider, who went tumbling down, is back to his toes. Harsh as it may be, Da Costa, who just came into the match, is now stuck on caution for the rest of the night.
I think one of the psychological skills that Miami FC could use in this game, despite being the home team, they're for sure pitted as the underdogs. You know, the expectation is for Tampa to go and win this. Tampa built their reputation over the first 12 games. And it's been tested in the past 4. And we expect to see it tested tonight. And over the past 4 games, they have wiggled a little bit. Early in the season, they re-established themselves. Because in previous seasons, Tampa were the benchmark. They were up there. Then this season, they again established themselves as one of the benchmarks in the Eastern Conference. However, past 4 games, we've seen a little bit of vulnerability. They've dropped 2 of their past 3 games. So tonight isn't just about picking up 3 points. It's about proving that their little dip in form isn't at the beginning of a trend and that they can regain that early season momentum.
So Sonora out, DaCosta in for him. And now Miami and Castamadoni has to shuffle things around on the pitch. Arnie Rocha, Mason Tunbridge up at the top of the board. Myers, quick pivot, watch out for a clean breakaway. Room comes all the way out to challenge. It won't matter, it's 1-0 Tampa Bay. Russell Cicerone on a clean break, all set up by MD Myers, and it's 1-0 for the Rowdies.
I think we all have to wait for the replay here because we all got caught off guard. Literally all of us waiting for the linesman flag to go up. It's Myers here with some great hold-up play. The timing of the running behind, there's nobody from Miami FC tracking him. As you can see, there's nobody in screen. Everybody had their hand up for offside, but the referee says no. 1-0 Tampa Bay Rowdies, but fantastic play from Myers here to create this opportunity.
And Room had no chance on this. He came out to challenge, but Cicerone had all kinds of green in front of him and found the back of the net. Quickly as he is on the board, so are the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Here in the 11th minute, it is 1-0 for the roadside.
Such a strange goal to concede because it almost looked like the whole Miami FC back 4 stopped. There was nobody tracking back or sprinting back or anywhere close to Cicerone. It was just Room there on his own, 1v1, and it's a fantastic finish from Cicerone, but where were the defenders?
Nowhere in sight. Tampa Bay this year 9-0-5 when scoring the game's first goal.
This is when some of these pre-game circumstances arise that may seem like small things can have a little bit of an impact on your mentality, your preparation and your focus going into a game. And that's what I think Miami FC have suffered from here, because that defending is almost unexplainable. But when things start to change in your preparation and how you approach the game, sometimes you can just get caught a little bit sleeping, or you're trying to figure things out or respond or react. And Tampa Bay Rowdies have taken advantage of that little bit of instability and uncertainty from Miami FC.
Cicerone, who just scored, it's his 4th goal of the year. Tampa Bay looking for a whole lot more here. Cruz outside. Good pivot, open man. Cicerone and company looking for a second one, and they got it. 2-0 for Tampa Bay. Quickly at that, MD Myers makes it a 2-goal advantage here in the 12th minute.
On the first goal, the defenders weren't present. However, this time they were present, but they were just not defending well. Knutson gets caught on the wrong side here, and I'm not sure where Calfo is positioned in terms of backing him up and the two of these working as a partnership. You can see driving, time and space. There's nobody engaging, and Knutson ends up trying to engage. So a straight run through the middle, and Myers, who's provider on the first goal, becomes the converter on the second goal. We highlighted him as the player to watch, and he definitely hasn't let us down in the opening 15 minutes of this game. He's got 1 assist and 1 goal.
Excellent patience by Cruz, and Myers does the rest. His 6th goal of the year, leads the club along with a couple of helpers. Cruz with the assist. And if there's ever a time or a need for a hydration break quickly for one side, Miami needs it right now. 2 goals in less than 2 minutes.
I don't think there's any other way to describe it, as the defending in the opening 12 minutes of this half has been absolutely awful, almost non-existent. There's been no pressure on challenges. There's not been any competition to even get back and block shots. Room in between the goal could really feel hard done by, because his defense has really left him out to dry in these opening 15 minutes.
Foul here by Tunbridge. While we have a minute, watch the USL on ESPN2 August 1st for a championship battle of powerhouse teams from the Eastern Conference. First place Tampa Bay Rowdies aim to keep the top spot with a win over the reigning Players' Shield winners, Lou City. Saturday, August 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2.
In the pregame, we highlighted Miami FC having 4 wins and 1 draw when they scored the first goal. So, yes, it's right that they should be on the front foot and have the mindset of going and scoring the first goal. But that also means that you need to ensure that you don't concede the first goal. In the opening 12 minutes, they conceded 2 really easy goals. Not even to say that they were difficult opportunities. They conceded really difficult, easy goals. So they've almost given themselves no chance of success tonight in the way that they've approached the defending phase, not allowing them to score that first goal first.
Most challenging part is they just have not given themselves a chance. Loy Room in goal here tonight for Miami, and he has been victimized. No help, and both shots came from dangerous spots on the pitch. Obviously, the Cicerone goal is on a clean breakaway. In fact, a 2-on-0.
You know, we asked the question saying tonight was not just about 3 points tonight. And I'll even go deeper than that. This is a Florida derby. It's the opening 15 minutes of the game, and you've given up goals, not even competing from a defensive standpoint. I don't think it's a tactical breakdown. At some point, you've got to be man for man, and you've got to take responsibility for a player in the other jersey. And that just hasn't been on display in the opening 15 minutes in this game from Miami FC. There's been players free in the box. There's players driving forward with the ball under no pressure, a lot of time and space. And evidently, there's only so much that Room can do in goal in terms of trying to stop the goals.
Romero will throw this in for Miami. Next goal is critical for Miami. How about this from outside? It was blocked. Miami's had 3 chances towards target here in the opening half, and all 3 shots have been blocked by defenders of Tampa Bay.
Which is in contrast to the others on the other side, right? I think Tampa have had 2 shots and 2 goals, and neither of them were blocked or even anybody close to blocking them.
Corner kick here for Miami FC. It's the first one of the night, brought to you by Cook Unity. One of the things that Castamadoni has been hoping to see a lot more from Miami, set pieces. DaCosta, his service in the box. Miami had numbers there. And Jai trying to pursue it. And they'll have it on a throw-in.
I think we also have to give Myers credit, irrespective of...
This crossing attempt was intended for DaCosta, just a little bit too late to the party.
Irrespective of poor defending on the first goal for Miami FC, Myers comes deeper and draws the defenders with him, which create the space for Cicerone to run in behind, and then he's free on goal for himself. So you really have to give Myers the credit for coming into space, being able to see that ball under pressure, and still playing behind for Cicerone making a well-timed run to give them the opening goal.
Tunbridge, nice touch, but Torrey gave it away. Diaz out wide to Romero. Tampa Bay took advantage of 2 breakdowns from Miami and converted on both.
And both Myers was involved in both of them. He doesn't always have to be the player to finish the play, as we saw in the first goal. His movement created the problem for the next defender, and he can finish chances himself. He can be a focal point of his movement, and he can create for his teammates.
Good idea by Tunbridge. That ball just a little bit behind, and DaCosta tried playing catch-up to no avail. Cicerone first, and then M.D. Myers after that. Cicerone's goal is 4th of the year, trying to catch M.D. Myers, who just tallied his 6th. Cicerone, 61 goals, though, in USL Championship. Spent a lot of time with Sacramento.
It'll be a really frustrating start for Miami FC. The question we posed was, how do you respond to Wednesday's loss in Colorado? And unfortunately, the opening 20 minutes has told us not very well.
Alessi. Back to Tampa.
The people order delivery like they're made of money. That's why they subscribe to Cook Unity, where the chefs deliver gourmet meals at affordable prices. Because the people aren't made of money. Cook Unity, chefs to the people.
Russell Cicerone in the 10th minute scored the game's opening goal. M.D. Myers 2 minutes after that. Tampa Bay has already put Miami in a hole. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, too, just how remarkable this all-time series is. with Tampa Bay owning it. They were plus 23 in the goal differential coming into tonight. An insane figure in 23 matches. 14 victories, 4 losses, and 5 draws.
I think there's one thing that maybe all coaches, individual players for sure, and even coaches as taking responsibility for the collective group, when people start to pose questions about the character of your team, it is almost an offensive thing to be on the receiving end of. And both of these coaches maybe coming into tonight's game had that question mark over them. Miami for their loss against Colorado midweek, and Tampa for their indifferent form in the past 4 games. And the response is good teams don't just win, they know how to respond through phases of adversity or when things don't go well, which is maybe what we're seeing here from Tampa. Things haven't gone well in the last 4 games. Within 12 minutes, they find themselves 2 goals in the lead away from home at Miami FC. Things haven't gone well for Miami FC midweek. They're now at home after a really good performance last week at home and find themselves 2-0 down after 12 minutes. Of course, there's a few things that play into that, but the collective character of the group is going to be the defining factor of how successful a team can be over the duration of the season. I think for Miami FC, question marks, still huge question marks over that are maybe getting answered today. And for Tampa, a little bit more positive, and I think the disparity of where they are in the standings has been quickly put on display tonight.
Well, for head coach Dominic Casciato, what is the message to his boys right now on the pitch? Because obviously a 2-0 lead, you might be susceptible to taking your foot off the gas, right? Yeah,
you try to hammer down as far as you can to not change your identity of style in the game. Now, it may feel like, oh, this is uncompetitive. There's no intensity. This team isn't closing down. We're getting time and space on the ball. Nobody's tracking our runs. So you start to take a little bit longer. You start to take more touches. What he wants them to do is continue to have a ruthless streak, a ruthless mentality. Every opportunity they get, can they break through Miami FC and finish the play? Can they not allow shots on target? That's the mentality they have to put into them, because exactly that. If they try to take their foot off the gas, slow down the intensity, don't play with the same purpose that they start the opening 15 minutes, Miami FC will find a way back into this game if they drop their level. But if Tampa Bay are able to maintain the level that they started the game with and even build on it, then I think it's a straightforward steamrolling tonight.
Yeah, and for Tampa Bay, remodeling of sorts for Dominic Casciato. Players that came in brand new. Sits first place in the Eastern Conference, the top of the board in USL Championship. Miami trying to push this thing into the attacking third. Acosta, nice swing. Rocha gets bumped off of it. No whistle, no call. And now a delay. Matthew Thompson, our center referee, a delay of sorts, but he gives it to Miami in a free kick in a dangerous spot.
Yeah, and he waits a significant period of time before he blows the whistle. I don't see the assistant referee putting the flag up. And if he does give this as a free kick, in essence, he is the last man. He would be through on goal. So it does, if he's going to give a free kick, it is a little bit more than just a free kick. He also has to caution the defender. Because arguably you could say if there's no foul there, Russia is through on goal.
Oh, Matthew Thompson in the middle of all this right now. Surrounded by players on both sides. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings.
The confusing part is the referee blew the whistle here with certainty. He blew the whistle like he knew the decision. Now he seems to be a little bit uncertain about the next steps after blowing it. There is a little shoulder there. Is it a red card? Questionable. Is it a free kick and a yellow card? Maybe yes.
Alex Atkins and Jackson Krauser are sideline officials, the assistant referees, helping Matthew Thompson.
I'm not sure why this is becoming so complex and taking so long. The referee's made a call. He needs to stick by his decision and allow the game to flow.
Isaiah LaFleur hearing it right now. LaFleur will get caution as he is shown yellow here in the 24th minute.
I think it ends up being the right call in the end, but the referee can be more assertive, quicker, get it done, get the game moving. I don't think we needed to stop for 2 or 3 minutes there over that infraction.
To your point, though, Chris, as you had mentioned at the opening get-go, Rocha was behind the enemy line.
Yeah, you could argue he's the last man and he brought him down, but sometimes in those situations, it's intentional the way he brings him down because he wants to stop him playing.
Sure.
In that, I think Rocha was still trying to compete to win the ball, but he was slightly off. So I think the referee's management of yellow card and free kick is the right decision. I just think he needs to be more assertive and get it done so the game can keep moving, rather than stopping, being uncertain in his decision, questioning his decision, talking to the fourth official, coming back, talking to the players.
See who serves this up. Rocha DaCosta. It will be DaCosta. He bangs it into the wall. Miami holds possession here. And Jai, bad play here. Knutson trying to keep it afloat. Miami does temporarily, but they have to watch out. You give up a third goal, you can call it a wrap. And Jai will pick up a foul here. Schneider not happy about that. He wanted a lot more than just a common foul.
I think there's one thing sometimes, well, not sometimes, I would say most situations you learn more about your team after a defeat than after a victory. Because in a victory, everybody's happy. The players are happy, maybe the players didn't play as much and happy, but the players, the coach, the organization, everybody's happy. But you learn more about your team after a defeat than you do after a victory. And tonight we're looking to learn how Miami respond after their difficult loss to Colorado. And the answer in these opening 20 minutes, 25 minutes, has been not very well. They haven't shown grit, haven't shown determination, haven't turned this into a Florida derby and playing with a passion and being hard to beat. They've been easy to beat. To be honest, the 2 goals that Tampa have scored have been really easy goals. So you'd expect a lot better in response, even if they don't have their best attacking players on the pitch, to defend more compactly and more together as a team. And that's not been the case so far for 25 minutes.
Take a look at both goals that have been struck by Tampa Bay tonight.
You see here, Myers comes short. Nobody tracks Cicerone. He's completely through. You actually see defenders standing as he's making the run, which is really poor to see at this level. And then he's 1v1 with room, and he's not left with much chance whatsoever. If you look, the outside back, just walking, centre back steps in. There's no partnership or working together there whatsoever. Cicerone through on goal. And to be fair, it's a good finish. The angle ends up becoming fairly narrow, and he does the right thing, tucking it away past a room who was left stranded. This is the second one we see here, driving, time and space. Nobody really engages him. It's a run through the middle from Myers all alone. That's the number 9 that really the 2 centre-backs should be dealing with. Instead, they're getting pulled into wide areas because they've got no width helping their defend. You can see Malesi here struggling to get back in time, and it's an easy finish for Myers in the end. A good easy finish because he hits the side netting. Many times their strikers try to smash it as hard as they can or hit it over the crossbar, but he picks his corner and passes it into the side netting, and 2-0 Tampa Bay Rowdies. I don't think anybody would disagree with the scoreline right now, and maybe it continues to go up if Miami FC don't change things fairly quickly.
If you're Gaston Madoni, what do you tell your troops?
What don't you tell them? I think you're pretty frustrated that you've come out after having your team talk, and within 7 minutes, 12 minutes, you're 2-0 down. You're wondering, what did you say to them in that locker room before they came out that had them start the game so flat?
Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship, from the grassroots to the pros. Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Good run here for DaCosta. No. Far set official with the flag up.
I think I did have a question that I had for the... But it's already been answered. I was wondering if Miami FC could prevent the service into Myers before he had the opportunity to bring in the other attacking players. That question's already been answered. They couldn't stop the service to him. He ends up becoming provider for Cicerone, and then he ends up being on the receiver end to finish off. So both of the opportunities for Tampa Bay have come through Myers, the key focal point in their front line in terms of creating for others and also converting himself.
Tampa Bay with a few guys out. Leland Archer, Alex Rodriguez, Brian Schaefer. Schaefer the big one, 13 starts this year. Been part of a formidable back line that has not conceded anything really on the road. Tampa Bay's given up 3 goals in 8 road matches coming into tonight.
I think one thing that is also admirable about Tampa Bay Rowdies is that they don't necessarily need to dominate possession to be controlling the game. I think people always believe that you need to have the ball to control the game. That's not always the case. If the defenders from Miami FC have possession of the ball, they're okay allowing them to have possession because that's not going to be damaging. It's when it gets to the attacking phase that you need to make sure you're not allowing them time and space, which has been the problem, is that when Tampa have got into the attacking third, they've had time and space. For Miami FC, when they've got in the attacking third, as we spoke about, shots have been blocked, crosses have been blocked, they quickly put pressure on the ball, they don't allow easy goal scoring opportunities. And then when they do get possession, they're able to be impactful with it rather than making pointless passes.
Towards the back post, and Jaya was there. That ball just didn't have enough lift on it. Good defense by Tampa Bay. Miami trying to keep the heat on. They do. Rocha, bicycle kick was missed. DaCosta saying he had his legs taken out from underneath him. Calfo with a foul, and then it'll go right back to Tampa Bay. Miami is pressuring. Tampa Bay is absorbing it, and they're not panicking.
We did highlight how these two teams would be set up differently in terms of their attacking options, with Miami FC not having Locadia starting, being more fluid in the front flee and relying on more movement and fluidity and interchanging of positions. Whereas Tampa Bay Rowdies have their focal point of Myers, which has proved to be successful for them. I'm sure Miami FC knew coming into this game that Myers would be the focal point. However, they've not been able to stop him. Two different situations, two different attacking blueprints, and one is working very well right now in this game.
Torrey, good win though by Miami temporarily. Rocha tried getting it back. No such luck. Myers here on the run. A nice job he's tracking back was Romero.
One thing I do think that Miami have, they have pace in transition to offense, but they definitely have not displayed that same speed in transition to defense so far in this game. And I think they have to make sure that they're excelling in all four phases. I think there's a few where they're very much lacking so far this evening.
This match has had a ton of pace to it, and that doesn't work to Miami's advantage when matched up against Tampa Bay. They can get away with it with a few clubs in USL Championship on the Eastern Conference front, but Tampa Bay is not one of them.
Yeah, I think the difference is that Tampa Bay has experience. They know how to manage games. They have a good structure and they have a good reference point to build from, and that's kind of been their stability. Momentum isn't always going to be linear, but good teams find a way to adapt. Even in their worst days, they find a way to pull off a result, and I think that's the Tampa Bay Rowdies that we're seeing. On Miami FC, if they have a bad day, can they pull off a result? I don't think so, and we could maybe put it down to resources or budget, but if you followed the USL Championship for long enough, you know that there are teams that always find a way to be successful with the resources that they have. Whether that's mentality, whether that is the group of players they have being successful, they find a way to win and compete with whatever resources they have. It's not like it's a brand new league. We know the challenges, the structures, the travel, the game pile-ups. These are all things that you know well before the beginning of the season. It's about preparing for it and being able to succeed through all those phases of the season.
Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your tickets, USL anyway, more on the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Myers, good fight. When it's against two different players, that drive from outside gets lifted up and deflected out of play. It'll be a corner kick for Tampa Bay.
It's a great chance again here from Cicerone after some good work in the box from Myers. And while Miami FC had to have a little bit more possession in Tampa Bay Rowdies look like they're going to score every time they go forward. The momentum doesn't just belong to the team with the ball, and we're able to see that. When they get possession, they're able to be positive and to be impactful with it. Whereas Miami FC haven't really had that same impact with the possession they haven't. The best teams don't just play well. They recognize what changes in the game, and when the game changes, able to take advantage of those moments. Possession without penetration really hurts the good defensive teams.
Perez, too much power on this one. Nobody in sight. Dolabella was expecting it to be somewhat near him. That was not the case. Rocha. Tunbridge was the intended recipient. Ooh, what a difficult challenge here.
And I'll double down on that point I just made about possession without penetration really is in terms of not very often, hurts good defensive teams. If you go back to the statistics early in the season of Tampa Bay Rowdies' first 12 games where they were keeping clean sheets, where they weren't conceding goals, they had the identity of a very good defensive team. Now, this is where Miami FC's possession is not impactful against a team that can defend well. You can keep the ball, but if they know how to defend well, you're not going to be able to penetrate them and create meaningful goal-scoring opportunities. And I think this is where the disparity is. Yes, Miami FC may have the possession of the ball, but what's really being done in terms of goal-scoring opportunities? Not much. Tampa Bay Rowdies have defended well in those moments when they've been called upon. There's been shots from distance, they blocked them. There's been second balls, they've won them. There's been 50-50 duels in the air, they've been on the receiving end. So when they've been challenged defensively to step up, they have been there. When they've been challenged offensively to convert their chances, as we see already, they've been very good at doing that also.
Tampa Bay, the best team in goal differential, trying to widen that here tonight with a 2-goal lead. Tampa Bay came into tonight with a decent lead over Detroit, 5 points. They're trying to extend. Rocha off wing, good stop by Jamali Waite, who's had no action tonight so far. Didn't need to come out to challenge. Rocha with the defender on him, able to pull the trigger and snap off a good shot.
Yeah, man, I think that's the key point. There was a defender there, right? He wasn't completely free running through on goal on his own. LaFleur was right there alongside him. Contrary to that in the first half, Cicerone was running through on goal on his own. And they're the defensive moments where we saw Miami FC's pace in behind and their ability to threaten going forward. But we also saw Tampa Bay Rowdies recognizing the moment and tracking back and putting him under pressure and making sure he doesn't have a free shot on goal. I think we're yet to see that emotion and intensity that we really expect in a Florida derby. And it was one of the questions I asked the coaches, did the players understand what the Florida derby means and what it means when these two players compete against each other? We're yet to see that intensity, that closing down, that feisty competition that we're accustomed to seeing whenever we see derby games. And I hope at half times it's something that both coaches are able to address, because we want to see that emotion, we want to see that intensity, we want to see a competitive, fierce battle. It's a moment when the team that has the most quality doesn't necessarily win when it comes to derby games like that. It's about having the mentality that can sometimes overcome that differentiation.
Tampa Bay has come to play, but they were also gifted a couple goals by the lack of mental focus by Miami. Compelling part for Tampa Bay is how they've gelled so quickly and so effectively. New players on the roster. This one chipped in. Room guessing one way. That ball by Dolabella, and Room with the touch.
I don't want to say it, but I almost feel like last week's performance against Indy was an isolated performance, because we're not seeing anything close to what we saw last week against Indy in 35 minutes in the second half. And it was a great opportunity to build it as the home team, build in front of your fans, build that momentum, build that cohesiveness as a team, get that winning feeling on a consistent basis. That's not been the case.
DaCosta couldn't win it. And conversely, Tampa Bay, they've won 5 times on the road, 3 draws. A draw last week against Loudoun United, but a new club record for longest unbeaten road run in the regular season. For Miami, must capture the next goal.
Yeah, and you already mentioned the history in the matchup between these two teams. Tampa Bay beat Miami 4-1 in the USL Cup earlier in the season. They beat me 4-1 last time. They're not going to come in and we're not going to make it so easy again tonight. You got to show them. You got to try and make them show them that you've grown since the last time that you performed against each other. Compete, make it a battle. Don't let them walk through to your goal so easy. And they haven't done that tonight so far. I'm interested to see how they continue to approach after half time. I think they've got to try and buckle down to half time, make some changes and regroup.
Well, this drive bending away. Good attempt by Perez, finding a sweet spot on the pitch. '38th minute, did have a hydration break. One injury, Joel Sonora had to come off the pitch. About 90 seconds into the affair, he was injured. Left leg injury. Rodrigo DaCosta came in for him, and then all of a sudden, A couple of quick lightning strikes in the 10th minute and in the 12th. Cicerone and then Myers. Costa with a decent idea. Romero giving chase, but runs out of track. Well, Miami's had one shot on goal in this match.
I think part of their halftime talk has to be about intensity. They have to come out and really put Tampa Bay Rowdies on the back foot. When they have possession of the ball, they have to play a little bit more vertically and try to play forward and create more goal scoring chances. And being 2-0 down, they have to come out in the second half with belief. They have to believe that they can overturn this deficit. They have to believe, find that confidence in themselves once again, that they're good individual players and can be a good collective team.
It's a busy night in USL Championship. Pittsburgh and Rhode Island right now. Indy and Loudoun, Detroit and Las Vegas. Brooklyn and San Antonio having some personnel changes. Medical anyway, so there's a delay in their match getting underway.
I will say, 2-0, people always define as being one of the scariest score lines. What the next goal can quickly shift the momentum. So for Tampa Bay Rowdies, it's about control, patience, and experience. Will there be more opportunities for MD Myers and Cicerone in this game? For sure. Are they going to convert them with the same clinicality that they showed in the opening 15 minutes? Only time will tell. But on the whole, they need to manage the game with control, patience, and use the experience they have within the group to continue to dominate, either be that with the ball or without the ball.
See Arnie Rocha there. He's one of the few different goal scorers for Miami on the season, but Jurgen Locadia not playing, at least to open up this match. Rocha's going to have to do something. He's got 3 goals on the year. He'll need some service. Calfo tied up between 2 different players for Tampa Bay, and a dog pile as Myers lands on top of him.
And this is another similar situation to the referee gave. If it's a free kick, Calfo comes from behind. If he comes from behind, it has to be a yellow card because you're going to play the player before you can play the ball. As you can see, he comes in here. If the ref calls a free kick, it's because he's tackled from behind. If he gets the ball, then it's not a free kick. Either way, it's a fairly strong tackle. I like it, sorry to say.
Yeah, it looked like he got to the ball first, but did drag down Dolabella with his left hand.
There should never be an easy game between these two clubs. Even where they are separated in the standings, whenever they play, the intensity is supposed to be different. The physicality, the emotion, is supposed to be highly competitive. This game so far in this first half hasn't lived up to the expectations of the once mighty Miami FC that we once knew, and the championship competing regular season Tampa Bay Rowdies that we once knew.
Attempt to chip in. Rocha couldn't get to it. Knutson, 42nd minute.
If you're the captain of one of these teams, and you know Florida's your home, and this is where you grew up, and this is your surroundings, at some point you got to tell your teammates and make them understand this is about bragging rights. It's not just the 3 points. It's just not about the competition. It's about how you win, how you lose, how you compete, how you fight in all those moments of the game that brings the intensity to another level.
DaCosta trying to grab an edge. It was labeled offside.
I will say, Miami FC do look like they are missing Locadia tonight because he was finding form and confidence. He was a focal point. He had the ability to attract a lot of players towards him and 3 other players in space. He could finish, he could run in behind. All aspects that are missing from the performance tonight.
Got to imagine there'll be some big changes for Miami personnel-wise in the second half. Defensively, they've been leaking, and offensively, not a whole lot.
And I think we gave them tons of credit last week against Indy 11. And winning once is encouraging. And Gaston Modoni pumped us up because he told us that was going to happen. He told us we were going to see a complete performance. But winning consecutive games actually brings belief to your group. It brings belief to the organization. Winning one off and then losing the next one, kind of brings like, here we go again. Like, you don't build that consistency in the mentality and the performance and the ability to drive and continue to go forward. So I think that if this result holds in midweek, I think it's really damaging to the mentality and the growth that we were starting to see from them.
Expected goals for, it's nearly identical. Tampa Bay 0.37, Miami 0.33.
The numbers. If you're watching the game, this is not an identical game.
Not at all. Schneider on the corner. And before that occurs, a member of Tampa Bay was down on the goal line. That's Luis Perez.
I think Tampa stay consistent to their identity, and we've seen that so far in this first half. Maybe they're not dominating possession of the ball, but they're comfortable without having the ball. They don't panic. They're experienced. They're well coached. And they're still one of the benchmarks of the league so far this season, despite some inconsistent results in their past 4 games.
They have all the playmakers necessary to win a title. Schneider again. Bad ball here. Dolabella was the intended recipient. Torrey. Navigate around. Tampa Bay knows how good Miami is when they score first, but they're equally as impressive. Unbeaten in 14 matches this year when they've drawn first blood. 9 victories out of those 14. Tunbridge, the chip, Rocha. Some contact inside the 18. He gets bowled over, and our center referee points the spot. Oh my. 2 players for Miami were dropped. Chris, we're going to have the luxury of instant replay here, but I want to get your assessment on this call.
Poor defending. If you look, and it's the exact lackluster mentality that we thought may creep in because of the way the game has flowed. You see the first header is not very good. Then you see a defender tries to clear the ball facing his own goal and just ends up connecting with one of the Miami players. So here, that's a really dubious header in itself. And then when you try to clear the ball facing your own goal, rather than you getting yourself in a good body position where you can get behind it and clear it away from goal, end up connecting with a Miami FC player. And fantastic opportunity now for Miami FC to get themselves back into this game going into halftime and restore a little bit of belief.
7 minutes of added time, and for Rocha trying to get this thing cut in half, the deficit anyway. Rocha against Jamali Waite to give Miami a pulse. Rocha on the approach, classy move, and it's 2-1. Not a lot of venom behind it, but it was all effective, and Tampa Bay will not go quietly into the halftime locker room. Miami gets one back.
And this could genuinely change the momentum here. We see a header, not great, just swings it. It doesn't really get in a good position, Dolabella here, to clear this ball and ends up giving away a penalty kick. It's really calm and composed here. Takes his time, keeps his composure, sends Waite the wrong way and into the side net. And he's restored a little bit of hope here for Miami FC going in at half-time. Now they can start to re-galvanize themselves and believe in the second half. The first half, draw it under the table, flush it down the toilet. It's not been good. Second half, we're still very much in this game. We've scored the last goal. The momentum can shift. We literally just spoke about how dangerous a 2-0 scoreline can be. It's now become 2-1, and that changes things. And if Lucadia is healthy and he can come onto the pitch and help this team, Miami FC can really re-galvanize themselves in the second half. For Tampa, they took their foot off the gas. And when you take your foot off the gas, irrespective of how well you may have performed, there are moments in the game that can hurt you, and that's exactly what's happened here.
Well, Miami at least delivering late here in this half. Had to get a goal back. To have any thoughts of a comeback attempt. MD Myers scoring in the 12th minute. And just before that, Russell Cicerone. Luis Perez on the free kick towards the back post. Miami's going to get it back. No, I beg your pardon. Look, it's going to stay with Tampa Bay. A lot of eyes on the back line for Miami going up against MD Myers. Myers with 15 goals in league play with Charleston last year. Good pivot on the end line, crossing attempt. That one's going to be nullified by DaCosta. Miami will continue to defend here. LaFleur will work short on this and gets it back. Bad ball, though, turns it over to Torrey. And Learman, who had that foul, that drive hits Knutson. Square in the face by Cicerone. Cicerone trying to keep it in to no avail.
Knutson does look a little shook up by that ball he took to the head. Maybe worth pausing the game for a moment and getting him looked at. Of course, only a few minutes to half time, so if he can get through, I'm sure we'll have a good chance for medical staff to evaluate him.
Good agility by Tunbridge. He gets taken down. He's asking for more, and he gets a yellow card as well. And it will be straight red on this after we look back at it and who exactly it was. And I think the disgust in this situation, or you give a ton of credit to Mason Tunbridge, all the credit in the world to draw that second yellow.
Yeah, you just be really frustrated here. You're going in, it's minutes to half time. You've coughed up a goal in the final dying stage of the first half. And now you've got a second yellow card. And now you're coming out in the second half a man down. If the momentum shift was ever clearer that it's going to be in favor of Miami FC in the second half, I think there's nothing more that indicates it now. Got himself a goal in the dying stage of the first half. Tampa would now have a red card in the dying seconds of the first half. They completely flipped the switch off, lost focus, lost concentration, and now they're going to suffer for it in the second half. For sure, he's right to wobble his head and shake his head there because there's no reason to give away a free kick in that situation, especially one that warrants a yellow card. It's on the touchline, it's at the halfway line. Just be smart in the dying phases of the game. We spoke about the experience and game management being one of their strengths, and they let themselves down. And I put it on exactly what we spoke about, taking their foot off the gas. The game was maybe a little too comfortable for them, and they got caught flat-footed at moments that have now caused them drastically going into the second half.
So Isaiah LaFleur picking up 2 yellow cards in this first half. Neither of them with great justification either. Poor mental decisions, and all of a sudden, he's done for the rest of the night. So Tampa Bay playing this second half ensuing with a man down. That's assuming nothing happens for Miami. But they have a 2-1 advantage, at least for the time being. Torrey gets taken out, and that'll begin Schneider. Torrey's had a troubling night. He's been on his backside a whole lot more than I know he expects.
I think both teams will maybe be frustrated. I think the pendulum switched. I think if you are now the Tampa Bay head coach, I think Dominic goes in at half-time and he's really disappointed and lays into his team. And I think if you're Gaston Madoni on the Miami FC side, you now switch what may have been a really disappointing first half, and you try to galvanize and be positive going into the second half, knowing that momentum's now on your side, knowing that you now have a man advantage, you're only 1 goal down, that you can turn this around with positive collective performance from the team. You can easily have a good chance to turn this around. So I think the head coaches would have switched their team talks prior to the equalizing, prior to the goal and the red card. I think Gaston Madoni would have been really angry.
Oh, Calvo here, he's going to pick up a yellow card. And MD Myers taking an exception in that challenge in the middle of the park.
And it's good and bad, right? It's a response to the game. Okay, Myers got the assist and goal in the opening 15. Now I'm not going to let him turn. Now I'm going to close him down. Now I'm going to put him in a situation where he wants to check his shoulder before he receives the ball because he's more worried about me coming and hurting him than just being able to control and play. So you give Calvo credit for trying to have that impact on the game by closing down and being more aggressive. But he is walking a tightrope because, as we spoke about, this is the second challenge where he's coming in this nature, maybe a little bit late. Maybe he's fortunate that he's not in the same situation as LaFleur right now and is having an early shower, because the two challenges, the two situations are pretty similar. Calford didn't get a yellow card for the first one. He's been given a yellow card for the second one.
Calford not smart with that challenge against Cicerone.
In the dying seconds of the half, it's the moment when you really need to control your emotions and manage. And the fouls are in and around the halfway line. It's not like the last-ditch tackles and you prevent your team from conceding the goal. You just need to manage the situation.
Time and place for everything. Matthew Thompson blows the first half whistle, and it comes to a conclusion. And we had everything in the first half of play, Chris. Tampa Bay 2 quick goals in a matter of 2 minutes. Miami gets 1 back, and we also had a red card that was thrown. LaFleur's done for the night. Tampa Bay up a goal, but down a man.
Yeah, I think this sets us up for a really exciting second half. Tampa now need to pick themselves up again. Miami feel galvanized and positive, knowing they have a man advantage and the momentum is on their side as they got the last goal. I'm looking forward to it.
The Cron Halftime Report is next. Stats, highlights, and a whole lot more. Do not go anywhere.
Off. Miami FC brings extraordinary passion to every match, and we take it further, connecting the city to 80-plus destinations across the Americas and Europe. Because chasing the extraordinary takes the right partner. Avianca, the sky belongs to all of us.
Dealing with pressure is never easy. But pressure is part of the game too. When everything is in your hands.
The Cron Halftime Report is here. Tampa Bay Rowdies had 2 quick goals in the first half. Miami got 1 before the half expired, and it is 2-1 is the score. Chris Nurse, David Gascon, bringing all the action here from Pitbull Stadium. Now I get a moment in time. We'll take a look at USL Championship and the rebuilding and the building of the future. Team, take it away.
They are more than shiny and new. The latest collection of brand new stadiums in USL are a commitment to communities. Fans in Boise have set attendance records. Finishing touches greet the fans in Fort Wayne weekly. In Greenville, Triumph fans are in love with their permanent new home. These projects take time and patience, but nothing gets a community excited like seeing a shovel in the ground. Detroit City of the USL Championship has gone from dreams to renderings to construction. At its recent groundbreaking in Southwest Detroit, Alumni Phi Stadium became a vision for the very near future.
We've been incredibly fortunate to create something that's way bigger than us, and that we have the great fortune of being stewards of it. And the stadium represents really an investment in that community, an investment in this neighborhood, a tremendous investment in the city, and something that will be around for generations to come.
With this stadium, the club is investing in its future and demonstrating a long-term commitment to building a sustainable, community-driven club. I'm excited for what the future holds for Detroit City. I can't wait to be back here for the opening match in 2028. And I want to say congratulations to the fans, supporters, ownership group, and the entire community that made this amazing new home possible.
At 15,000 seats, Alumni Phi raises the bar for Detroit City. Soon there will be more groundbreakings and sounds of stadium construction as USL gets closer to the launch of Premier.
You ever just look at them and think, yeah, doing all right.
This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
Hay mucha fiesta, señor Martino. Hay gente revancha, doctor. Pero falta gol y estamos a esperar a Hugo. ¿Hugo Sánchez? Sí, tira para adelante. ¿Quién maneja? ¿Un futbolista? ¡Llegamos por fin! ¡Ay, bendito sea el chapar, doctor! Hugo, ¿regreso a las canchas? ¿Algún consejo?
Sí, confía y cree en ti.
¡Ey! ¡Pasa al norte!
A donde me dé la oportunidad, pero listo para dar el paso.
¡Listo, vamos!
This is your moment.
Prinks tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines. From early mornings to late nights. From fun with friends to winner takes all. From the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Avianca is ready for takeoff. Miami FC brings extraordinary passion to every match, and we take it further, connecting the city to 80+ destinations across the Americas and Europe. Because chasing the extraordinary takes the right partner. Avianca, the sky belongs to all of us.
Back here at the break, the youngins on the pitch right now, sporting their stuff, getting things done. Tampa Bay Rowdies with a 1-goal lead over Miami. 2-1 is the score. Macron halftime report is here. Got a moment now to talk about the out-of-town scoreboard presented by Miami Marriott Dadeland. Action tonight so far. First half, Brooklyn, San Antonio, nothing doing just yet. At the break, Indy 11, Loudoun United. Postponed, Birmingham and New Mexico. And Las Vegas with a surprise 1-0 lead over Detroit City. Switching gears, the Prinks Tires USL Cup, the quarterfinals matchup, have both teams from tonight also in it. Tampa Bay Rowdies will be against Lewis City. That's on Wednesday, August the 12th. Charlotte Independence, Hartford Athletic. In Spokane, Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Miami FC will take on San Antonio. And Miami's had a great deal of success over the recent years against San Antonio, so don't think that's a shoe-in for the Western Conference side from Texas. And back here, we'll take a look now at USL Championship action, the all-access package of what we have this season and in the present. Let's take it away.
It is halftime in the USL Championship. We hope you're enjoying the match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at the headlines. It was an amazing accomplishment and USL history. Trevor Ammon's hat trick blew open Pittsburgh Riverhounds game against Louisville City. Ammon scored 3 goals in 3 minutes and 27 seconds, the fastest hat trick in league history. The Riverhounds collected a 3-1 victory on national TV. Construction is underway on Detroit City's new home. The groundbreaking for Alumni Phi Stadium took place last Wednesday with club partners, business leadership, as well as the mayor of Detroit on hand. The 15,000-seat stadium's planned opening is in 2028. The CONCACAF Under-20 Championship now underway in Mexico. 3 players from USL clubs are with the U.S. Under-20 team. Colton Swan of Charleston Battery and Brandon Days of Louisville City represent the championship. Braden Dunham represents Swarm FC of USL League Two. National Spotlight games in Championship and League One. Next Saturday, Tampa Bay hosting Louisville on ESPN2. August 5th, Richmond Kickers hosting the New York Cosmos on CBS SN. And then on the 8th, Monterey Bay hosts New Mexico United on CBS SN. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
This week on USL All Access, we are back on SiriusXM FC, which means we recap the month that most people didn't see on YouTube. Trevor Ammon, the fastest professional hat trick in American soccer history, speaks with Devin. Plus, we break down the quarterfinal matchups for mid-August's USL Prinks Tires Cup. All that more on SiriusXM FC, the USL YouTube page.
Dealing with pressure is never easy. But pressure is part of the game too. When everything is in your hands, become your own hero.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Avianca, Baptist Health, Macron, and Cook Unity. Avianca highlights here in the first half. We had a lot of different things happen, Chris.
Yeah, it was a pretty fast start from the Rowdies here. Good work from Myers. Receiving with his back to goal, keeps it in possession, plays a lovely ball in behind it for Cicerone. We all thought he was offside. No, he wasn't. 1-0 Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Yeah, Cicerone's goal got Tampa Bay off and running quickly in this match, beating the entire back line. His fourth goal of the season, and Eloy Room had no chance on, so it was 1-0 Tampa Bay. But then 2 minutes after that, it was more from Tampa, this time MD Myers.
Yeah, this time it was Myers finishing the play. Previous time he was starting, he just times his run straight through the middle here. He's not tracked well, and he passes it into the side net and composed finish, giving the team the 2-0 go-ahead.
And for Myers, his sixth goal of the season leads the entire club, and a good assist from Cruz here to set things up for Tampa Bay. So all was well for Tampa Bay, and Miami had their heads down the entire time until the 45th minute.
Just when you're talking about game management and seeing out the game, poor defensive decisions here gave Miami FC a way back into the game, a penalty kick from a poorly timed challenge.
Yeah, and Arnie Rocha stepped up to it from the spot. Goes up against Jamali Waite and buries it. His fourth goal of the season gives Miami some life, and just before the end of the half, it was a much-needed result as Miami is down a goal. And you look at the real-time standings here, Tampa Bay Rowdies, as we mentioned at the top of the show, in first place. Right now, if things do hold on, they'll be 8 points in front of Charleston Battery and Detroit City.
Yeah, and there's a pretty big accomplishment. To be 8 points clear in the lead at this phase of the season is tremendous work from Tampa Bay Rowdies. But as we spoke about, they really let themselves down in the dying moments of the first half. It's going to be interesting to see how they manage the second half being down a man.
And for Miami, they cannot be comfortable with where they're at right now. Hartford just a win away from leapfrogging them. But still, for Miami, 45 minutes to go in the second half, and they're also up a player as well. Isaiah LaFleur picked up 2 yellow cards in the first half, so Tampa Bay is going to have to do a whole lot more defending here than attacking as we look at the first half numbers in this one. Rowdies with the 2-1 advantage. The shots nearly identical, but possession favoring Tampa Bay. I got to imagine that will go to Miami when we reach full time. Got a few changes to begin this second half. Matthew Ndongo will come in for Gasta Madoni. These changes brought to you by Baptist Health. Gennaro Nigro will come in for Tampa Bay. Thought process for Gasta Madoni in the second half is what, Chris?
I think he has to galvanize group with a positive mentality, positive mindset on the front foot, gets them to believe in themselves. I think they can get themselves the equalizing goal and really pose some serious problems for this Tampa team for the next 45 minutes. Playing at a man down for the next 45 is going to be really challenging. As you can see, they're already starting on the front foot. They're not afraid to continue throwing bodies forward. But the energy over the duration of the second half, it will start to catch up with them at some point.
Big loss for Miami early on was Joel Sonora. Had an injury in the first half. About 90 seconds in, he was removed. Rodrigo DaCosta came in for him. You see the changes being announced. Torrey departs along with Calfo. Jonathan Levin. Schneider also leaving. Nigro coming in for him. So the 3 changes. That ball there by Diaz. So Tampa Bay up a goal, down a man. They'll be doing a lot of defending here in this second half. But they'll not be sitting back. If there's an opportunity to strike and counter, they will.
Yeah, I'd say the challenge has completely changed for Tampa Bay in the second half. They're 2-1 in front, but they'll play the entire second half with 10 men after the dismissal of LaFleur. Now it's about managing the game, discipline, and resilience.
Still no Jurgen Locadia for Miami. So they've made 3 changes in this match now. Can they get an equalizer? Ndongo, no separation. Roach on the touch. Ball presented through. Near set official with the flag up for offside.
Myers has delivered when Tampa Bay needed him most in that first half, and I expect he maybe starved a little bit of service in the second half. A goal and assist involved in everything positive going forward and justified the pre-match attention that we gave him as being one of the players to watch. His quality as a number 9 hasn't just been about his finishing. It's been his ability to stretch Miami, to hold players up, occupy defenders, and create opportunities for the players around him.
If you're Dominic Casciato in Tampa Bay, what do you do to tweak the second half for your team?
It's a tough balance between understanding that we're man down and defending well, but not defending for the whole half. So it's finding the right moments to go forward, finding the right balance of keeping possession, but being so resilient and determined to get your defensive shape as quick as possible. Because even with 10 men, if they drop into a 4-4-1, there's still 2 banks of 4 that the other team has to break down before they can get a shot on target. But it's about how quick the players can transition in this heat and humidity and get into that shape and make it really challenging for Miami FC to break them down, because they still have the 1-goal lead.
Cicerone, Myers, and Rocha, all goal scorers tonight. 2 for Tampa, 1 for Miami. Rocha was on a penalty. Luis Perez trying to get away from some traffic. He draws a foul.
I would say the focus for Tampa has to be protecting the middle. Don't allow Miami to play through the middle of them. If they're going to get through them, they have to play around them. But they have to become tight and compact. It's not about pressing. It's about protecting the spaces in between the lines. And you know that Miami FC want to get players receiving those balls in between the lines. So for Tampa, that has to be their main focus, is compacting their shape, making it really tight and difficult for Miami to play through them and forcing them into wide areas.
Alessandro Malassi, who has had a troubling time keeping himself out of the book. Players for Tampa Bay asking for more than just a foul.
I think the biggest question we ask Miami FC in this second half is, can they actually make the numerical advantage that they have count? Playing against 10 men isn't always easier. Sometimes being patient can be your biggest opponent when this situation arises.
So Perez will serve this up. They've taken a long time getting this game back underway after the foul. Perez into the box. The header was missed. Knutson with plenty of contact. The entire Tampa Bay bench is up right now, and they are not happy about it. There's a foul going back the other way. Agro, the guilty party, and now we'll have another yellow card. This will be from abuse on the bench of Tampa Bay, but does it have merit?
I think it's a free kick. I think the referee's made the right decision there. Maybe the one that happened in the box, there may be a case for that one also.
Well, We didn't see the contact that was near that room.
The key to the extra man is that Miami FC have to start to create 2v1s in wide areas or 2v1s in central areas to take advantage of that extra player that they have. Tampa will defend crosses all night with no problems, but they need to try and make the extra player count, because this is when Tampa won't be able to shift across quick enough to nullify that numerical advantage that they have.
Well, they have an entire half to work at it. Tampa Bay this season unbeaten when they've scored first. 9-0-5. And for Miami, 4 victories this year at home, 4 of the 5. And Dongo, lack of concentration, able to keep it in.
We highlighted as Tunbridge as being the man to watch in this game, and this is where we're going to see how active he can become now that they have a numerical advantage. Can he create overloads in the wide areas? Can he create 2v1s? Can he deliver quality service into the box or be on the end of quality service into the box? This is where we highlight him as being the key man and where we need to see him come to light.
Feeble attempt. Tampa Bay had done a good job clogging up the middle of the pitch, and Jai steps up into the play. Nice job, though, by Mason Tunbridge on the approach. The drive from well out by Romero, never had a chance.
The scoreline tells us that Tampa Bay are in control. However, the red card says that the match is anything but over. The opening 15 minutes of this half is going to tell us whether Tampa are capable of protecting their lead with discipline, or if Miami are going to be able to make the extra player count. I really thought they thought that 2-0 lead was enough of a cushion just to take their foot off the gas and coast. And they quickly were reminded that the game keeps people honest. Whether you're superior or not, whether you had the better mentality for the first 35, 40 minutes, the game is played over the duration of 90 minutes. And they took their foot off the gas for 5 minutes at the end of the first half and were quickly reminded of that and brought down to a level of humility. Both conceding a goal and receiving a red card.
Tampa Bay in the driver's seat right now in the Eastern Conference, and Miami just trying to stay relevant right now above the playoff line, but there's plenty of teams on their heels. That'll be a foul. Coming into tonight, Tampa Bay was only a couple points in front of Hartford. There is a bit of a delta, though, between Miami and everybody else. Birmingham, Brooklyn, Loudoun, of course, and Sporting Jacks. But Miami's trying to do a whole lot more than just qualify for the postseason. I'd love to make some noise, but part of that will have to cater over to being rather aggressive and also consistent with their offensive flow, and then of course cleaning up mistakes defensively. Perez tried turning the corner to no avail and just gave it away. Tampa Bay heading into tonight, 32 points. Love to grab some more separation against Charleston and Detroit. More of the accolades too for Tampa Bay. The Prinks Tires USL Cup. 3 more victories there. This one played back to Waite. Waite will have to get rid of it. Tampa Bay can be hosting Lou City in the quarterfinal. That'll be on August the 12th. Tampa Bay has been more composed here in the second half than the first. The first was loose for everybody. Some shoulder checking here. This is Cerrone and Tunbridge locking arms. Chris, more to your point, too. Tampa Bay has been down a guy for quite a while. Dolabella tracking in. Dolabella just missed the corner. Room with a good job to come out and be assertive. Dolabella with perfect finesse, just not enough accuracy on it.
Yeah, Room comes out here just to narrow down the angle. It's a fantastic ball in behind there from Perez. Outside of the left foot. It's again a well-timed running behind, but probably just needs to dink this over the goalkeeper. He tries to, not a bad idea, just to guide it towards the far netting if anybody's making a run for our post, but with no one being there, maybe just lifts this over and it's in the back of the net past Room. But another warning sign from Miami FC. Despite being upper man, Tampa Bay Rowdies are still creating chances.
Another killer moment, though, for Miami. They're fortunate enough to get away with that break. But to concede like that, up a player, inexcusable.
I think the substitutions from Miami FC at halftime when Dongo and Levin come in, I think is a statement from the staff that they're looking for fresh legs and a different perspective in attack. It's not a question of them having possession, it's whether they can create better goal scoring opportunities.
Romero. And Dongo completely covered. DaCosta. Malesi. Good ball. DaCosta's turn. This one will be broken up. It'll be a corner for Miami.
Nigro coming in for Tampa at halftime. It's the kind of change you'd expect is about bringing in a little bit more defensive stability rather than chasing maybe a third goal, just reinforcing themselves defensively.
Another corner kick here. Brought to you by Cook Unity. DaCosta, low line drive, not his best service. Cruz with the intercept. Rocha got in front of it. DaCosta could have had a lot more with that and instead gave it back, and then Rocha picks up a ticky-tack foul.
The key to taking advantage of having the extra man from Miami FC is they've got to move the ball quickly. They've got to allow the ball to travel quicker than the defenders for Tampa Bay Rowdies. If they can move them from side to side, create wide overloads or open up those holes in the middle of the park, that's where they can have success. Alton coming into the field for Tampa Bay Rowdies. Now, this is a player who has a lot of experience, a lot of professional games, a leader and a captain on the field for this team. Somebody who can sit in the middle of the park and literally be the coach's voice and push players and guide the team in terms of shape and organization. It's a key substitution at a key moment because for the next 30 minutes, they may not see a lot of the ball, and this is where they're going to be challenged to defend well. They're going to have to absorb a lot of pressure. This is going to be the influence that Hilton's going to have on the game for the remaining 30 minutes.
Yeah, Lewis Hilton will be coming in right now. This will be his 171st appearance for the Rowdies. So Dolabella's night's over with. Just missed scoring a massive goal for Tampa Bay. That would have given them a 2-goal margin. Hilton, a Grizzly veteran, 32 years of age, 7th season with Tampa Bay. Tunbridge off the pivot. Gerald Diaz. Tampa Bay, though, with everybody back, at least that's available. Diaz doing a little bit too much by himself, though. And this will result in a corner kick, though, for Miami. Cook Unity corner kick. They work quickly, and DaCosta can't climb the ladder on it.
We've reached a point in the game where this is not so much about tactics on the ball anymore for Tampa Bay Rowdies. It's more about their concentration without it. Tampa are being asked, can they defend and be disciplined for another 30 minutes? Where Miami are asking questions about, do they have the patience to create the right opening rather than forcing one?
60th minute. Miami has not looked impressive offensively here in the second half.
Playing with 10 men for Tampa Bay Rowdies isn't just a physical challenge. Of course, it's going to be more physically demanding than playing with Denver, but it's about decision making. And I think that's what Hilton adds. Having been in these circumstances so many times, he has the ability to make decisions in the field, but also to guide the people around him in terms of their decision making. I think that's it invaluable he can bring. Every tackle, every clearance, every pass has to be the right option.
Two-thirds of the way through this match. Tampa Bay doing exactly what they need to in the second half, just mucking it up, not making it easy for Miami to get a clean shot on target. In fact, they've had the better of the scoring opportunities in half number 2. Not a heads-up play here by Njai. I'm a little baffled by that. As opposed to letting that ball go out of bounds, he plays it out. Now it's a corner for Tampa.
Yeah, it's not been his strongest defensive performance. If you go back to the goals he had in one, maybe I think he was a little bit deeper and actually kept Cicerone on for the first goal when he makes that run from deep. I think it's positioning that cost them that first goal.
Jurgen Locadia just announced he'll replace Arnie Rocha. So one goal scorer for another as Locadia will come in here in the 62nd minute. Miami training offense for offense. And Locadia will get loose as we get back to the action and a corner kick with no payoff for Tampa. Second half numbers for Miami, they only have 2 shots, but neither of them have been on goal yet. Romero. Locadia, his first touch of the night. A little too much velocity in that ball to handle. And Njai all the way back to Knutson.
This is the move we expected, especially with Miami still chasing the game. Locadia enters with just, or you could say 30 minutes of additional time left in the game. And Miami now have a focal point that they were maybe missing from the opening whistle.
Locadia making his 14th appearance of the year for Miami. He has it now. He has started in 11 of the matches. 5 goals, leads the club.
This isn't just a personnel change. It now changes Miami's attacking structure. Before Locadia, we were talking about not having that focal point and fluid movement and rotations and no fixed reference point and the attack being built through combination play. Now with Locadia in, you have a true target man, someone who can occupy Tampa Bay center backs.
DaCosta's turn. DaCosta looking for a crossing attempt. Locadia, I think, was the man he was looking for. That ball just had way too much run on it.
Exactly that. Now you can get the ball in from wide areas from crosses and you have a realistic target option, and now you can have more runners being able to play off Locadia's movement. The question now changes. Earlier we were talking about creating space through movement. Now it's talking about whether Locadia can occupy the 2 defenders and give Miami's defense a real problem in the final third from runners and playoff.
Football fans can't watch the match? We'll turn on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
For Tampa, they now have a real problem on their hands for the remaining 30 minutes of the game. Playing against a recognized striker with fresh attacking legs coming into the field for the remaining 30 minutes.
More changes. Diego Melo will enter the fray.
It'll be interesting to see if they give Locadia space or if one of the centre-backs stays a little tighter to him, whether they go man-to-man or zonally. He doesn't just bring goals to the game, Locadia. He brings a change in decision-making. Every time he occupies a centre-back, someone else has to decide whether they're going to cover them or whether they're going to hold their position.
And Gaston Madoni wasting no time here in the second half to go to his bench. Luis Perez on this free kick. Perez, some backspin, headed away twice. Sprinkle through, almost finding the right bar as MD Myers gave it a good look.
The next 25 minutes are going to tell us whether Locadia can become the difference against the Tampa side trying to protect a 1-goal lead with 10 men. Can he break this deadlock? Earlier we were asking, can Miami exploit the extra man? Now we're asking, can Tampa cope with Locadia's presence whilst already being a man down?
Tampa Bay has some numbers right now. Myers on a 3-on-2. Myers springs it over on the right-hand side. The drive-by Cruz, good stop by Room. A touch foul will go against Tampa Bay.
That's where Miami FC have to be careful why they are throwing bodies forward. They shouldn't find themselves outnumbered in defense. There you saw them a 3v2. Turned out the pass forward wasn't quite the right quality to create a goal scoring opportunity, but you quickly saw Tampa Bay Rowdies still managing to create opportunities and have a numerical advantage in the attacking half despite being a man down.
And Jai with another foul. It's been a challenging night for him. We have a hydration break here in the 67th minute. So both teams will go to their respective benches. All the work offensively for both these teams occurred in the first half. Russell Cicerone in the 10th minute, MD Myers in the 12th, and then the 45th. Arnie Rocha got one back for Miami FC.
Yeah, this is Gaston Madoni's last chance to make some tactical tweaks and really galvanize his team to really go and push for these last 25 minutes. They really don't have anything more to lose. They can either get the equalizing goal and pick up a point tonight, or they stay as they are and they lose the game. Really, the onus is on Miami FC. The emphasis is on them. They have to bring the energy, they have to bring the urgency, they have to bring the intensity to go after this equalizing goal once we return from the hydration break. Which now has become hydration stroke tactical, right? Like 1 minute it was you're just getting a drink of water. Now it's actually become a full-on tactical intervention from the coaches where they're getting the tactics board out and giving advice. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be. Maybe the break is too long, who knows, but it would be good to have clear instructions on what is actually permitted in this moment. Are coaches allowed to re-galvanize their team and give tactical instructions, or is the purpose solely hydration breaks? If it's solely hydration, then maybe they need to leave the players more central and let the athletic trainers come on and just bring water bowls to them. That, to me, would be more of a hydration break. When you let the players go off to the side and interact with the coaches, then it becomes almost like exactly what we saw during the World Cup, where people were getting frustrated, almost changing the fundamentals of what the game is about.
What's your preference?
I prefer the hydration break, and look, let's get a drink of water and keep the game going in the second half. I don't think it should be a moment where there's now 3 periods in the game to tactically adjust and bring out the tactics board. But whatever is going to bring the most entertaining games to the fans, whatever the fans want, I'm all for it. But
yeah, I was going to ask on that note, what is better for the game?
I mean, the hydration break makes sense, especially in the heat of Florida. 100% it makes sense. But does it need to be extended long enough that it then becomes a tactical break? I'm not sure that it needs to become that. And maybe there needs to be a restriction to prevent it from becoming that.
I mean, because the other argument you can easily say is you could have every player in the middle of the pitch, or at least centrally to the field, and then have one gopher, if you will, come over to the sideline and talk to the coach and just relay that message.
Yeah, that's it. We'll see, though. We'll see as the game, there's one thing that we're concerned that the game continues to evolve, and some people will say decisions are being made to preserve the intensity and enjoyment of the game, and some people will say it's taken away from what has previously made the games enjoyable. Depends which side of the fence you sit on.
Tampa Bay trying to hold on here. Not for just a point. They want all 3. Isaiah LaFleur, 2 yellow cards in the first half, so he was sent off with red. And Tampa Bay has been admirably efficient here in the second half. Defensively, they have been stout. And they have a decent grip on this 2-1 lead. Looks like Tampa Bay is going to have a couple more changes. Hilton, who gave it up. Tampa Bay doing a good job here of some keep away. Coming in, those Myers, room goes out from a sharp angle. Nearly put that in. Tampa Bay's offense, although limited, has been extremely dangerous against Miami's back line.
Yeah, the only thing they've lacked is that killer instinct and that clinicality. That, as we said, they've continued to create chances in this second half despite being down a man, and they needed to have that approach to the game.
Jurgen Locadia must be careful here. He got right into the grill of our center referee, Matthew Thompson. Locadia ran over Nigro. He picks up yellow.
It'd be interesting to see if it was just a differentiation in strength or if he did actually foul here.
Lewis Hilton picking himself up. Locadia not happy. We go back to the sequence. Or we tried to. '73rd minute. Can Tampa Bay hold on? Miami trying to claw one more back at the bare minimum.
Yeah, I think it paints the picture of the story that we consistently told, that in this game, Miami have now had more of the ball, but Tampa have still been the most efficient team. Even a man down, they've had very many meaningful opportunities to score in this second half. This is a great example of why possession alone doesn't win soccer games.
Rowdies unbeaten their last 7 regular season matches against Miami FC. And they've won 5 in a row here in South Florida. In fact, the last time Tampa Bay lost here in Miami, it was all the way back in 2021.
Miami have controlled more of the game territorially, especially being up a player, but Tampa have controlled the moments that matter the most.
MD Myers not too pleased with our center referee.
If we're only to look at the possession numbers here, we think Miami were in control, but Tampa have defended their box exceptionally well and been ruthless with the opportunities they have had.
DaCosta juggling, toying, trying to spin and fire to no avail. Miami keeping the heat on.
Some arms outstretched in the box. They have to be careful, Tampa. They don't want to go giving away another penalty kick. I think one of the problems that Miami have had, that despite having the extra player, their possession hasn't translated into enough quality goal-scoring opportunities. They've only had 2 shots on target from 8 attempts. Miami have had the ball, but they haven't consistently answered enough difficult questions of Tampa's goalkeeper. Waits had a fairly easy night. I think that may be one of the few times that I've even mentioned his name.
Carson Henderlong is going to come into the affair. Marco Micheletto as well. Those 2 changes for Tampa.
I think we have to give Tampa a little credit too, going into the last 15 minutes of this game. Micheletto coming in there for Cicerone. Since the red card, Tampa's organization has been decent. They've been good. They've stayed compact. They protected the central areas and forced Miami into lower quality opportunities. Of course, they're not going to be able to prevent them, but they're forcing them into lower percentage opportunities in front of goal.
So a couple fresh bodies for Miami. Surprisingly enough, Miami is not applying pressure like they did in the opening half. despite being up a player.
Yeah, the game's become about efficiency versus control. Miami have controlled more of the ball throughout the game, but Tampa have controlled the scoreboard. And that, at the end of the game, is going to be the one result that matters most.
And again, room in the back line being tested as Myers behind everybody. 76th minute.
Yeah, you thought you might have seen the assistant referee's flag come up there, but it stayed firmly down. Myers wasn't far away from latching onto that pass whatsoever. Tampa continue to ask questions of this Miami FC defense, despite having a red card.
Diaz. DaCosta, Romero now. Knutson. Miami just looking for some gaps. Do they have one here? Outside Ndongo. Sharp angle. The cross. It's in the back of the net. Miami FC has been limited offensively in the second half, despite being down, or excuse me, up a player. They get themselves deadlocked here in the 77th minute, and we're up 2-2.
And it's that man, Locadia, they were missing from the first whistle, that's come in to have the key moment. Great work here, great cross across the face of goal. Locadia arrives in the right place at the right time for a simple side foot finish into the back of the net. The extra players finally told from Miami FC. They stayed patient, they kept asking questions, and eventually they found a breakthrough. Comes here from a connection between two players that didn't start the game. Ndongo with a cross to Locadia inside the 6-yard box to finish it off. The game's now tied up at 2-2.
And just think, too, for what Tampa Bay has been unable to do, which is getting another insurance goal. As they're down a play, they've had some chances. Dolabella had one where he missed the far left bar. MD Myers from a sharp angle hit the goalpost. So some woodwork, an errant shot. Some contact here, but no whistle. Enderlong trying to draw it. DaCosta lifted it up, trying to find Locadia. Diaz.
I think this just reinforces how important Locadia has come to this Miami FC offense and the quality they possess. Is just moments on the field, and he's the player that comes up with that equalizing goal. We just highlighted that they'd had 8 shots and just 2 on target. It didn't take Locadia too many attempts to find himself on the score sheet.
So Locadia getting his 6th goal of the year. Ndongo, as Tunbridge trying to go a little nutmeg. That did not pay off. Ostrom, fantastic job defending. Henderlong peels this back to Cruz.
You have to give Gaston Madoni credit for the changes. The substitutions paid off. Locadia was introduced after the hour mark. Delivers exactly what Miami needed. The focal point they've been missing all evening has come up with the equalizer.
Melo, right-hand side. Locadia was the intended recipient, and just an errant ball. Locadia looking back at Melo. If the body language could express anything, it would be anger and frustration.
This wasn't just about the finish of the play. It was about changing Miami's attacking profile. We spoke about early in the game they had possession but lacked a central reference point in the penalty area who could finish off plays or draw the attention of defenders. Since Locadio's come in, he's occupied both of Tampa Bay centre-backs, and this time Miami found a way to find quality delivery from the wide area, and Locadia made it count centrally.
Well, Miami wants more than one. Locadia, nice touch. Diaz, DaCosta, back to Locadia, bad ball.
And you have to give Diaz. Diaz was involved in that build-up play also. Diaz fed Ndongo, and Ndongo fed Locadia. It was the early recognition from Ndongo. He didn't force the play. He picked the right moment to release the pass and find Locadia. And Miami finally turned their territorial dominance into a goal.
How does Miami finish?
Still a lot of time left to play, in all honesty. There's still 10 minutes of regulation and then any additional time, so there's still 15 minutes now to build on the momentum. We spoke about the goal shifting at half-time.
Watch out, Room got in some trouble, and he got beat! A horrendous goal to give up in the 80th minute. Tampa Bay gets back on the board, and another lead, it's 3-2. Oh my!
Still trying to digest what we just saw here. It was almost from the halfway line. It's great recognition here from Perez with his right foot. Just sees Room way out, and Room's arms are waving all over the place in the air, trying to scatter back onto his goal line, and he seems like he's there, and he just doesn't quite connect with the ball, and it's in the back of the net.
Marco Micheletto from well out, and Eloy Room is looking for somewhere to hide. Micheletto with a highlight reel goal from just about 60 yards out. That will be the goal of the week in USL Championship.
For sure, I think we're going to see that replayed over and over again. Micheletto with a great strike from the halfway line. Not just the connection on the ball, but the recognition to see where Room was. Room, we spoke about, his performance has been fantastic recently for Miami FC. He's been the reason why they've been an uptick in their form because of his leadership from the back, but completely caught off guard at that moment when momentum was shifting in favor of Miami FC. They were very much on the front foot. They got the equalizing goal. Confidence was flooding. And then Micheletto puts an absolute nail in the coffin with the strike from way outside.
And now can Miami claw another one back? And Dongo pulls the trigger. That thing slices wide. That is a gut-wrenching goal to Miami's soul, but a massive one. And you mentioned it, just the heads up and field awareness from Micheletto. He took a couple steps and let that thing rip.
It's a fantastic response. Just a few minutes after conceding the equalizer, he found a way back into the game for Tampa Bay Rowdies and produced a moment of real quality to restore the lead.
USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on CBS Sports Galazzo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings.
I would say that it was a spectacular goal, but it's not just about a spectacular goal. It's about the mentality. It would have been easy after conceding and equalizing and being a man down to drop deeper and to sit deeper. Instead, Tampa showed tremendous belief in themselves, playing with 10 men. They still found the courage to attack, and the opportunity presented itself, and Micheletto didn't let anybody down.
Mello picks up a yellow card.
I think the deeper question we have to ask ourselves. Yeah, trivial foul there. You can't question it. I think the deeper question we have to ask is, why was Micheletto able to find that time and space? Miami FC have the extra player, which means that they should be suffocating Tampa Bay Rowdies every time they get the ball. How did Micheletto get time and space on the halfway line to pick his head up, get the ball at his feet, and hit the ball clean enough to beat Room from that type of distance? They should have been really on top. As you mentioned, they should have been intense. They should have been closing the players down. He shouldn't have had that time and space.
Micheletto, his third goal with 2 assists on the year. Man born in Rome, Italy, raised in England, came to the United States in 2015. Another stoppage. And another yellow card is going to be thrown as well. Dos Santos is down. You see the reaction from Ndongo. He thinks that it was much of nothing.
And as much as it is about the gamesmanship and the match management will start to kick in for Tampa Bay Rowdies. They know that they're probably a little bit fortunate to find themselves in the lead right now, and they want to try and slow the game down and kill any momentum for Miami FC to get back into the game. Miami had all the momentum after the equalizer, but in chasing the winner, they left themselves exposed, and Tampa Bay Rowdies punished them with Micheletto's effort.
But you think about this, the quality of team that Tampa Bay is, and here tonight is a perfect example. They weren't working necessarily hard to get all 3 of their goals. They were just opportunistic when the opportunities were presented. Miami, conversely, had to work extremely hard to get both of their goals. Locadia up a player, scored on a crossing attempt from Ndongo, and the penalty that was earned earlier by Arnie Rocha.
Yeah, I think sometimes the hardest moment to manage the game can be immediately after you score, when the energy, the enthusiasm, the endorphins are high. Miami were full of belief, and that belief just became a little bit too aggressive, and they left themselves open for Micheletto to find the time and space to get a strike off from distance. Not just to get the strike off, to have the recognition to know where the goalkeeper was placed and the confidence and belief in himself to execute.
We'll have our Cricket Wireless man of the match at the end of this contest. And Miami is hoping that they'll have someone else also score a second equalizer.
About 10 minutes left in the game. You have to give Tampa a bit of credit here. This performance has been built on resilience. They've been a man down for a whole second half. They've had to absorb a lot of pressure. They've responded to Miami FC getting the equalizer, and now they've found another moment of quality when they've managed to take the lead again, and they're still going again now.
They push. It's one-on-one here with Cruz. Holding the ball down. Myers was on the left-hand side. Myers all alone. Myers, great stop by Room. Of all players to have that kind of space, MD Myers robbed point blank by Room.
Yeah, we gave him a lot of credit for his decision-making and quality in the first half, but that was a really poor moment there from Myers. He's in time and space, despite his team being down. It's almost like a return to the first half when they're attacking and the attackers had time and space. So much time and space to get the ball down, get it onto his favored right foot and pick a corner. His first touch when he gets behind, isn't that great? It goes onto his weaker left foot, and he probably still has a lot more time than he realizes before taking the shot. He ends up smashing it straight down the throat of Room, who makes a save, but that should have been the final moment for Tampa Bay Rowdies and sealed the game. Myers will be kicking himself. He didn't take advantage. I think the fatigue, being down a man, maybe got the better of him, because the way that Tampa Bay Rowdies have continued to create opportunities despite being a man down, it really does take a lot of energy out of you. But Myers found himself in a moment in front of goal all alone when he really should have buried this game and given Tampa Bay Rowdies a convincing lead.
Another change here. Evan Conway will come in for MD Myers. Conway, a couple goals in 5 starts.
And I don't think that substitution is a retribution for missing the chance. I think that's realizing, hey, he's tired.
Yeah.
Andy Myers, who's not completely drained and fatigued, finishes that chance. So it's probably good management from the coach here in protecting him a little bit going forward, recognizing where he is at this point in the game and trying to just freshen up the legs going forward. Because if they do continue to drive forward and create opportunities, they need to convert them.
Delicate challenge there. Romero is not happy with it.
I'm not sure you can have any arguments either.
It is hard to imagine Tampa Bay having the better scoring opportunities here in the second half than Miami, despite being down a player, but they have.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Myers has still been the definitive attacking figure throughout the whole night. His goal, his assist, set the tone. Mikeleta delivered the decisive moment. Myers had another moment to really seal things off. They was unable to convert, but they continue to attack despite being down a man. You have to give them credit for their approach to the game and their mentality and resilience.
Romero to Locadia, and he's called for the foul. Locadia has a yellow card as well, so he must be careful. Dos Santos. Dos Santos finally back up to his toes.
Such a big, strong, imposing figure, Locadia. Sometimes the referees just give free kicks against him because of that strength differentiation. It's hard to balance whether it's a foul or whether he's just significantly stronger than the people around him.
Miami's going to have to work quickly on this. 90th minute.
I think we are seeing some championship characteristics coming out from Tampa Bay Rowdies here. Championship teams, they don't just respond to the pressure, they respond to setbacks. And Tampa, after they conceded the equalizer, their best response was immediately being brave and clinical and going on the offense again. And they got the rewards of having that mentality and that approach to the game.
90th minute, Miami still not out of this hole.
Miami have to attack. They may be desperate, but they cannot afford to become desperate. Tampa have already shown that they're capable of punishing when the space is left behind. So despite being approaching the 90th minute, they have to throw bodies forwards, yes, but they cannot go gun-ho because there's still time for Tampa to get another goal.
Tampa Bay is out shooting Miami in the second half, 7-4. And they're just happy enough to be even in the second half scoring as well.
The night started off so badly for Miami FC with maybe injuries, maybe fatigue from the midweek game. Then it got a lot better for them just before half-time, getting the goal that put them within a 1-goal margin. The red card for Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Good ball here for Cruz, head up all the way. Pivots on the left-hand side of Evan Conway, but too much sauce on it.
And now Evan Conway has to put the hard yards in and get back into defensive shape.
8 minutes of added time. Tunbridge, who was hooked, but not helped up.
We're witnessing a tremendous display of resilience here from Tampa Bay Rowdies. They continue to attack. They played the whole half with 10 men, and they're still leading. This says everything about the organization, the commitment, and belief from this group.
Tunbridge, poor job of holding it. And now Tampa Bay gives it right back. And Jai up top for DaCosta.
Still a decent amount of time left here, still 7 minutes. Miami have a little bit of time to create a couple of more opportunities. It's no longer about the perfect attack, it's about making the right decisions under pressure. Early deliveries into Locadia. Tunbridge providing width and getting close to those second balls in and around the penalty area and avoiding being rushed with hopeful crosses and still trying to deliver quality.
DaCosta, good touch. Locadia's turn, tries to spin on that pivot to no avail.
He uses his body so well. If there was just somebody reading his intent there, he's able to create.
Oh, Locadia got taken down, no whistle and no call.
You can see the problems that Locadia creates. It's almost since he's come onto the field. Every time the ball goes forward, we have to say his name because he's involved with everything.
Some decent contact on the left-hand side. Jurgen Locadia had an expression, but kept his cool.
Listen, the key players tonight for Tampa Bay Rowdies, even though he's no longer on the field, Maya's influence is still being felt. His goal and assist built a platform that gave Tampa the lead to defend him. Mikeleta came in when all the momentum was against him after Miami FC got the equalizer, and he produced the game's most defining moment with a fantastic finish from the halfway line. And great teams often find one big moment when they need it most. And that's what Tampa Bay Rowdies have produced tonight. Still 6.5 minutes left in the game, but have to give credit where credit's been due.
Miami must pick up the pace. DaCosta, who's down, and he's tired. Another yellow card here.
For Tampa Bay Rowdies, it doesn't need to be pretty for these remaining 5 or so minutes of the game. They got to make first contacts with the balls and clear things. They need to win second balls, slow down the restarts, and stay compact between the lines. For Miami FC, on the other hand, they've got to deliver quality, not just quantity. They can't just pump the ball forward. They've got to put it forward with quality. In those moments when they get in the attacking third, they have to stay composed, and they have to attack rebounds and second balls aggressively and prevent Tampa from being able to relieve any pressure with their clearances.
Dos Santos with the yellow card. 41 fouls combined tonight. DaCosta bending through. Knutson tries to elevate, not as tall, and Waite takes exception to the contact.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see because there's a clear elbow thrust towards his head, and I don't think the referee can ignore that. I don't think the referee can ignore it, so what does the decision become? Penalty kick?
Tell me.
Look, you see here, he gets the ball, and this is where emotions need to come. You get it, just get it, go to ground. He goes back and throws an elbow.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think that can be ignored whatsoever against Knutson.
And the center referee was right there. I mean, that's as clear as day.
And it's dangerous too, right? Let's be honest. You lose teeth like that. It's a little bit out of line. Elbows, it's a little too much. But he gets the free kick called against him. He's yellow carded for his response. I think if the ref doesn't give a free kick against Knutson, then it has to be penalty kick. I think there's a difference between surviving and defending it. And Tampa haven't looked like they're panicking. They've looked organized, and that's why they're still in front despite defending with 10 men. This will go down as one of Tampa Bay's most impressive wins so far this season for their mentality and their resilience. A man down for half the game, yet still managed to combine clinical finishing with outstanding defending. It's a performance that's built on their resilience, their leadership, and their collective commitment. Going through a rocky patch, this game started fairly easy, but it turned into a real challenge, especially in the second half.
And this will be a blatant yellow as well.
Without a doubt. But it's the kind of yellow that you're willing to accept at this phase of the game, being a man down. In the wide area, allow your team to get back behind the ball. It's very frustrating for Miami FC, but it is probably what Tampa Bay Rowdies needed in that moment.
Yeah, Micheletto picking it up. Micheletto picking a corner from midfield.
I give Miami FC credit for how they finished the first half and how they carried themselves in the second half. They never stopped believing. They continued to ask questions. They eventually got a numerical advantage, and
contact, and Miami's asking for a whole lot more.
Yeah, I would say emotions at the end of both halves have really not been under control. We look at the emotional management at the end of the first half, poor, especially from Tampa Bay Rowdies. Now we're getting into the dying minutes of the second half. Yes, you expect Miami FC to be throwing everything, but you still expect intelligence and good game management from Tampa Bay Rowdies despite having a lead with 10 men. What Waite did with his elbow a few months ago was really, really silly, so to speak, and could have really put Tampa in a predicament.
Eli Room, our Cricket Wireless man of the match.
And despite conceding 3 goals, it could be way more if it wasn't for some of the saves that he made in this game. We spoke about Andy Myers just before going off the game and the strike that he had that Room was able to save. If we're looking for key performers, I don't think we can ignore Room, especially with the way that his defense maybe let him down in the first half. He still came up big in key moments for his team.
Tampa Bay trying to win their 6th straight here in Miami. Unbeaten in 7 in a row in regular season action against Miami FC.
Yeah, I think the headline's going to be Tampa Bay Rowdy won the Florida Derby. Let's not ever forget that. It's a Florida Derby. They won the Florida Derby with 10 men for half the game. The deeper story is how they did it. Myers obviously gave them the platform. Micheletto, with his goal from the halfway line, delivered the decisive moment, and the entire group defended with outstanding organisation and belief when the pressure was at its greatest. I think it's a complete collective performance, despite there's a couple of standout performers within that.
Tampa wins this, they'll move up to 35 points. It's a top mark in USL Championship. Rowdies right now in no reason to hurry up. They're just looking to burn some clock.
And they restore a little bit of belief from this rocky patch that they've been going through the past 4 games.
Tampa will just defend here. Miami does look exhausted. Playing midweek. They were outclassed by Colorado Springs 2-0. And they were on the verge of getting blown out here tonight. They were losing 2-0 12 minutes into the affair. They clawed back, got it to 2-2. Then Marco Micheletto with a bomb from midfield. He put it upstairs and over the top of Eloy Room. Down a player. Tampa Bay trying to close this out and capture 3 more points. Locadia, he's called for the foul. Looks like the final seconds of this match. Locadia, his expression says it all. Looks like he knows and feels that time is going to expire on his night. Wait, gets rid of this. Matthew Thompson looking at his whistle, or his watch, I beg your pardon. Miami trying to pressure, and that will be that. Agony for Miami FC, and for Tampa Bay, a gutty, gritty performance. And they will race out of South Florida tonight with all 3 points. Unbeaten in 8 straight now against Miami FC. And they've won 6 in a row here in Miami. And a massive victory for Tampa Bay. Down a player, and they find a marker late. 3-2's the final.
Yeah, you can see the Tampa Bay Rowdy players exhausted, but it's a moment. Wins like these, gritty performances can really bring a team together and galvanize them, especially going into the next stretch of the season. I think is an important moment for them that they need to continue to reflect on and build upon going forward.
Marco Micheletto, his game-winning goal was a bomb in the 80th minute, and Tampa Bay wins it 3-2 is the final. Post-game show, final thoughts coming up next.
Avianca is ready for takeoff. Miami FC brings extraordinary passion to every match, and we take it further, connecting the city to 80+ destinations across the Americas and Europe. Because chasing the extraordinary takes the right partner. Avianca, the sky belongs to all of us.
Dealing with pressure is never easy. But pressure is part of the game too. When everything is in your hands, become your own hero.
Closing up shop here. Tampa Bay Rowdies on the road beat Miami FC. 3-2 is the final. Chris Nurse and David Gascon bringing all the highlights here. And Avianca will present all of them for you. And Chris, it was a fascinating night of ball because we had everything come your way.
Yeah, there was red cards, yellow cards, good defending, poor defending, goals from the halfway line. It was all action tonight. And this is where we got started with Cicerone latching onto a great pass in behind there from Myers to give Tampa Bay Rowdies the 1-0 lead.
So all was well for Tampa Bay, and for Miami FC, a bit shell-shocked to start this match. Cicerone going all alone on room. It was indicative of how the night was, but then 2 minutes after, Miami concedes another.
A real electric start from Tampa Bay, or a real slow start from Miami FC, however you want to look at it. But Myers here charges straight through the middle, receives the ball, great first touch, slots it into the side netting to give Tampa Bay the 2-0 lead.
And it felt like Tampa Bay was going to blow the doors off of Miami in this contest. 2 goals in a matter of minutes. MD Myers is 6th of the year. But in the 45th minute, just before the half expires, Miami gets one.
Yeah, Tampa Bay Rowdies getting a little complacent here. Really got flat. Gives away a penalty kick moments before half-time.
Arnie Rocha will convert here, his 4th of the season. Jamali Waite with no chance on it. So the second half continues. Miami FC up a player because of 2 yellow cards delivered to Isaiah LaFleur. And then Jurgen Locadia comes in. He gets the equalizer.
The player that they were missing all night came in, had a huge impact in terms of creating goal-scoring opportunities and giving the defenders for Tampa Bay Rowdies nightmares. And he comes in and creates the equalizing goal, 2-2.
So all is well until this. In the 80th minute, how about this?
Fantastic recognition. How did he find the time and space? Questions will be answered despite them having man advantage, but Room caught way off his line, and we gave him man of the match because of some of the saves he had to make. But in this moment, he got caught sleeping, and Micheletto makes him pay. Recognition, quality, execution, 3-2, Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Of all things to happen, Marco Micheletto from well deep. A game-winning goal that he will never, ever forget. That's going to do it here from Miami. Miami FC falls in this contest to Tampa Bay Rowdies. For Chris Nurse, I'm David Gascon. Hope you enjoyed this one. Tampa Bay wins it. 3-2 is the final. Have a wonderful Saturday night, everyone. So long.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.